Hey groupies, welcome back to Form of Therapy. This is the Culture Study. I'm the channel's video producer and your host. You can call me PD. And today we are checking out Cool by Weki Meki. Weki Meki is back with another comeback. Glad because Weki Meki has gone through periods where they'll have comebacks at a regular pace, and then after one or two comebacks, they'll suddenly go cold or silent for like a year or like a better part of a year. So it's good to see that they're having another comeback so soon after one earlier this year. Now, before we check out Cool, our video is brought to you by our Patreon. If you guys would like to support us, what we do on this channel, visit us at our Patreon. If you don't want to, that's completely fine. You don't have to. Let's just get into this video. This is Cool by Weki Meki, and this is your form of therapy.
네가 cool 얌전히 따라가지 않아 내가 만들어간 new rules 내 안에 흥미로 가득 찬 호기심 모든 게 즉흥적 Yeah, hear me now, hear me now Yeah, feel me now, feel me now, cool 주위는 다르게 모든 게 계획적 너무나 답답해 숨이 막혀 그렇게 꽉 막힌 생각에 바람이 통하게 take it easy 난 거침없어 alright 겁이 없는 편 뭐든지 해봐야 특성이 풀리는 스타일 나야 아름답지 나 지금 이대로 난 괜찮은 거야 모두 따라와 따라와 따라와
Her hair!
깨워봐 깨워봐 아야야야 좀 더 뜨겁게 감당 안 되게 Bring it back 아야야야 좀 더 신나게 예상이 빛나게 바꿔놓을래 Call me baby 재미없는 규칙은 다 벗어나 That's right 우리가 바꿔버리면 되니까 머리부터 발끝까지 전부 다 내 멋대로 해 나는 나답게 Every day I just wanna dance 춤을 춰 계속 멈추긴 싫어 어떨까 상상을 해봐 짜려진 것처럼 단정한 내 모습이 따분해 hot for me I never want to be 지금 이대로 난 괜찮은 거야 모두 따라와 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 너를 깨워봐 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 아야야야 좀 더 뜨겁게 감당 안 되게 Bring it back 아야야야 좀 더 신나게 예상이 빛나게 바꿔놓을래 Call me baby 알잖아 우리 스타일 겹치지 않는 색깔이지 무례하게 굴지 않아 I'm the so wild so buck wild 새로운 걸 원한다면 follow me 여기서 recipe 새로운 걸 찾는다면 do like me 나만 아는 recipe 새롭게 바뀐 모습이 진짜를 찾게 된 기분이 누구도 말할 수 없지 You know what's up Cool 좀 더 뜨겁게 감당 안 되게 Bring it back 아야야야 좀 더 신나게 예상이 빛나게 바꿔놓을래 Call me baby 재미없는 규칙은 다 벗어나 우리가 바꿔버리면 되니까 머리부터 발끝까지 전부 다 내 멋대로 해 나는 나답게
This was such a good comeback. This was such a great comeback. I'm not talking about, oh, the song's really good. I'm not talking about the music video's really good. I'm talking about the comeback. And by comeback, I mean the whole package. it's not limited to one thing, and it's not limited to even just a good song and a good music video. I'm talking like the production of the video, the aesthetic, the members. On every cylinder, they were firing at full blast. And this is perhaps the sort of cultural reset I have been waiting for with Weki Meki. Weki Meki has been a group that I think, for me personally, has always find to struggle to find their feet, because I feel like their styles have been sort of all over the place, and I feel like there's a whole mess going on with their label Fantasia, but at least sonically, Astro was always well managed, and I never understood quite why Weki Meki's audio sound was kind of, I don't know, hard to nail. They kind of were going for a little bit of a girl crush in a certain comeback, and then they were going for something else. And honestly, the past few comebacks have not really done it for me. Oopsie and Dazzle Dazzle have not really been of my taste. Tiki Taka was fine. Picky Picky is one of my favorite title tracks ever. That was amazing. That was amazing. That was a genuinely good song, a very catchy song, but it wasn't a cultural reset. And what I consider to be a cultural reset is kind of reshaping and redefining what your group is about, and perhaps showing us an incredibly different side of yourselves. Picky Picky, as good as it was, I couldn't say that it was any different from, in terms of like stylings, it was any different from their debut. It definitely felt like, oh, this is in line with Weki Meki's style. And then the past few comebacks, Dazzle Dazzle, I just didn't like the song. Oopsie, I was fine with the song, but with Dazzle Dazzle and Oopsie, both music videos I thought were low budgets. They were poorly produced. They didn't look like the cheapest videos in the world, but at the same time, I felt like their video team kind of dropped the ball creatively. I can say without a doubt that Cool, after several comebacks, finally, not only do they deliver on a song that I think is just, first of all, really catchy, really addictive, but also so much of like a really risky song for them, to try out something so drastically new. But I think they needed something like this. And the music video, we can watch it again and kind of go through it. But even the music video, I think it was produced in a way where I do still feel like they are on a pretty tight budget. But here, they were so creative, and they were creative enough that you didn't feel the stranglehold of their budget. So I do think they had a higher budget here than their previous music videos combined. I think they really heard the criticisms from everyone, and they really stepped it up here. They had more money invested here, but even still, I don't think this is their biggest music video budget to date, but it might be my favorite video from them to date. It might be my favorite video, and it might be my favorite comeback from them. It might not be my favorite song, but in terms of like, whoa, you are doing the mostest right now, this was definitely it. So let's check it out again, and let's go over what I love about Cool. All right. That bass, obviously, super sexy. It's a very sexy bass. I love me a good bass rhythm, but the whole point of it here is that it is quote unquote cool, and they are embodying that effortless cool, right? Slick back, tied hair, in like these white jumpsuits. Is it a jumpsuit? No, it's not a jumpsuit. Some of them, no. I think they're just tucked in shirts. But one thing on a production level that I really, she's wearing boots, and some of them are wearing boots. Okay, some of them it might be a jumpsuit, but because some of them are wearing boots, some of them are wearing more like yeehaw boots. Anyways, this scene right here, if you think about it, it's a relatively simple enough scene. If you're cutting this down in terms of budget, this is as cheap as you can go, right? Infinity background. Glad it's a black infinity instead of a white infinity, just because white infinity backgrounds are so often used in K-pop, and it doesn't really necessarily, I feel like, fit the aesthetic here. Them being in the pure white body outfits against the black background definitely has that cool aesthetic a lot more. But how they made this work, because as simple as it is, it doesn't feel cheap. One, because it's lit really well. I think one of my criticisms that I had with Oopsie was they were going for a minimalist music video. They were trying to kind of work on a budget, but it wasn't lit. It wasn't lit well, and I felt like the minimalist thing sort of fell apart. And I think they did it really well here. And even though there's an infinity black background, the reason why it doesn't look so boring is they made a smart decision of shooting on a reflective surface. And the reflective surface, the reflection that you're getting off of their dancing is providing also just another visual element. It's adding more to the scene, because you can't necessarily, if you look at it, there is nothing in the background. There's no set dressing that's adding depth to the scene. What's also adding depth to the scene is depth. Sorry, I have coffee in my mouth. But what's also adding depth to the scene is the lighting. The lighting is showcasing the shadow all around their body. So it's not flat lighting. They lit it so that they themselves come off three-dimensional, even though it is a flat background. So, first of all, going into this is shot really, really well. Very simple scene. Very simple scene, but I think when it comes to the most simple of scenes, they become more difficult in task because you have to sell it better. Who is this? I've never noticed her before. Then again, I've never really dived too much into Weki Meki variety or anything, so I'm not too familiar with all the members. But oh my goodness, this chick. I love this portion, the rolling bass, and then you have the percussion coming in and the whistling. It's giving the song a lot of momentum right here, mainly because there was no real momentum in the beginning. It was kind of starting out in like this very, I feel like, stationary basis, but then Yoo-jung is really propelling suddenly the song forward with her rapping. So they're giving the rap and her flow an additional kind of rolling rhythm with the synth and the percussion. So that's really cool. Yeah, I think it's one of her best. I think it's one of her best sections she's ever done. And if we're talking aesthetics, my God, look at, what is this hair? That's amazing. It feels like the song, and I mean the song very, very, like the instrumental, very much has a very voguing inspired concept, but so does the visual aesthetic, the slick back hair, but also the choreo as well. I feel like has a lot of big voguing inspired elements. 춤을 춰 계속 멈추긴 싫어 어떨까 상상 the alternating lighting right here is just enough to keep this portion interesting. I mean, if you think about it, there's really not much going on. Even in terms of choreo, she's dancing by herself. You know, the background is like, again, they're going for a very minimalist background. First of all, the set dressing on this is way better than Oopsie. I mean, to take into account like the big white background right here, and then they have they complement like the minimalism with the girls. They're wearing very colorful outfits and like this giant stone slab that's also very like this crazy mixed concoction. So it feels like it's a blank white canvas, and they're throwing on a lot of messy or loud elements, which is making the minimalist concept seem a lot more luxurious. And again, the alternating of the lighting, really good idea. She looks good too. Her haircut's incredible. And these black outfits, they are the saving grace. I mean, even look at this. Like I thought it'd come up again. Hold on. It never came back. Okay, but even this portion right here, if you think about it, very simple setup. Shooting against a blank white wall. There's not a lot going on here, but they do enough with the lighting where I feel like even just the overhead lighting gives them this nice dramatic feeling. I feel like this is a little bit too wide, where you're kind of getting a feel for like, oh, the budget's a little tight. And I feel like I don't know. I feel like maybe seeing their shadow against, you can see their shadow against the wall a little. I feel like if that had been better lit and if they had blown out the shadows, it would have looked nicer. This is so dope. It's not often you see girl groups do this kind of stuff. I think, you know, ATEEZ has done something like this. 17 has done something like this. It's so cool to see a girl group doing this. See, again, if you think about it, a rather simple setup, but it's just about the creativity of like them having to actually come up with the idea and concept. I think this is a rather boundary pushing music video. I think this is a rather boundary pushing song and concept in general. Yeah, this is probably their most invested set. Looks like they have it looks like an LCD monitor in the background, and then you have these clear mannequins. They had to build out like these display areas for the mannequins, and it's like a runway. Wow, who is this chick? Oh my goodness. She's like not rapping. I feel like Yoojung is probably Weki Meki's strongest rapper, and I wouldn't necessarily call this rapping, but it is very, very alluring, and I think it's working for the song a lot. Yeah, it's not necessarily a lot of rapping going on in this song, but a lot of like the talk singing, the talk singing that we've talked about before. I don't think the talk singing stuff necessarily works when you do really cutesy girl group songs, but in something like this, I think a lot of voguing songs do have very talk singing inspired moments. So I think it really works for this song.
누구도 말릴 수 없지. You know what's up. Cool. 좀 더 뜨겁게. 감당 안 되게. Bring it back.
Also, this finale portion, wonderful. You know, you have all this confetti flying around, keeping the last dance portion, even though it's the same set, keeping it interesting, bringing on the strobing lights as well.
좀 더 신나게. 예상이 빛나게. 바꿔놓을래. 재미없는 규칙은 다 벗어나게. 우리가 바꿔버리면 되니까. 머리부터 발끝까지 전부 다. 내 멋대로 해. 나는 나답게.
The dance portion right there was actually really intense.
재미없는 규칙은 다 벗어나게. 우리가 바꿔버리면 되니까. 머리부터 발끝까지 전부 다. 내 멋대로 해. 나는 나답게.
I gotta admit, I think, you know, like I said, I don't think this is necessarily their most high budget music video to date. I don't even think this is their best song to date. But when it comes to the all around package, like, I give the song like a good 9 out of 10. I give the music video a solid 8 out of 10, you know, and then you've got like the hairstyles and the aesthetic and stylings. All those are like 10 out of 10. So you package that all together. This comeback is like a 9 out of 10. You know, it has been a hot minute. You know, I have been rooting for Weki Meki since the beginning, since I Don't Like Your Girlfriend. But like I said, I feel like they've really struggled to find a consistent sound, find a consistent release schedule. It really doesn't help that there's a lot of just like ups and downs going with Fantagio's management. But I think Cool is an amazing reset. Now, they could capitalize on this. They could do something similar for the next comeback. I think when you have a quote unquote cultural reset of a comeback, that really sets the stage for your next comeback in your career going forward. I do hope that the A&R team at Weki Meki can do a better job at figuring them out sonically and figuring them out concept wise, so that going forward they can continue to succeed and really do like kind of like very boundary pushing stuff like this. So I hope we get more and better from Weki Meki in the future. But this was, for me, this was a 9 out of 10 comeback. Now, guys, I would love to know, what did you think about Cool by Weki Meki? How does this compare to their previous comebacks? Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Once again, if you'd like to support us, visit us at Patreon. We have live stage variety show, a bunch of other types of reactions for you over there. However, supporting us monetarily is completely optional. If you don't want to or you can, that's completely fine. Why don't you go ahead and check out all our other videos over here, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.